16 acres of private shoreline. Helicopters landing out of sight. Guests arriving by boat. And one of the most powerful financiers in America at the center of it all.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire, associate of presidents, royalty, and celebrities, died in jail in 2019 before facing trial. But his island, his network, and the unanswered questions surrounding them still echo today. This is the timeline, the locations, and the verified story behind what became known as Epstein Island. He wasn't born wealthy. He wasn't born influential. Jeffrey Epstein was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1953, raised in a middle-class neighborhood far removed from the elite circles he would later enter. He attended college but never completed a degree, yet he secured a teaching job at Manhattan's prestigious Dalton School. That position opened doors, and those doors changed everything. Within a few years, he transitioned into finance, working connections, building relationships, learning how power networks function. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, he had positioned himself among extremely wealthy clients and global elites. But the story of Epstein isn't just about wealth, it's about access, influence, and the people around him who helped maintain both. One relationship became especially significant: Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite connected to international high society. She became Epstein's partner and close associate during the early 1990s. To outsiders, she appeared to open social doors, hosting gatherings, introducing contacts, helping maintain connections. But prosecutors later argued something far serious. According to court findings, Maxwell recruited underage girls, built trust with them, arranged travel and meetings, and helped normalize Epstein's access. Testimony described grooming and manipulation, actions that later became central to federal charges. In 2021, Maxwell was convicted of sex trafficking minors for Epstein and sentenced to prison. Her conviction reinforced a key point investigators emphasized: this operation did not function through one individual alone. Meanwhile, Epstein expanded his reach physically. His real estate portfolio grew to include a Manhattan mansion, Palm Beach estate, Paris residence, New Mexico ranch, Caribbean islands. Because wealth doesn't just buy property, it buys privacy. And one location offered the most privacy of all. 2 miles from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands lie two secluded landmasses, Little St. James and Great St. James. Epstein purchased Little St. James in 1998, later acquiring the neighboring island in 2016. From the air, it looks idyllic: turquoise water, palm-covered hills, coral shorelines. But geography provided something else: isolation. Accessible only by helicopter or private boat, far removed from public view. Development transformed the island into a private compound featuring residences, guest villas, pools, dock facilities, helipad, road paths, recreation areas, a self-contained retreat. Yet multiple accusers later reported abuse connected to this location, claims that became part of lawsuits and investigations. These allegations must be understood through legal testimony and reporting, not speculation. But they permanently changed how the world viewed the island, because behind paradise imagery, serious accusations were emerging, and eventually, authorities took notice. In 2005, Florida police opened an investigation after allegations involving a minor. What began as one report expanded. Investigators identified dozens of victims. Federal authorities became involved, but the outcome shocked many observers. In 2008, Epstein pled guilty to state charges related to solicitation of a minor. He served a short jail sentence under a plea agreement widely criticized for its leniency. After release, he registered as a sex offender. At that point, the story might have seemed finished: a conviction, a sentence, and a quiet return to private life. But it wasn't over, not even close. A decade later, new reporting surfaced. More survivors came forward. Public pressure grew. Federal prosecutors reopened the investigation. In July 2019, Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges. For the first time, a full federal trial appeared imminent. A trial that might have revealed more about connections and networks. But events took another turn. August 10, 2019. Epstein died in jail while awaiting trial. His death was ruled suicide. The criminal case ended, but scrutiny intensified. Attention shifted towards associates, towards documentation, towards accountability. Ghislaine Maxwell's arrest and conviction followed, reinforcing prosecutors' claims about coordination within the operation. For many observers, the central questions didn't disappear, they multiplied. Over time, thousands of records have been released through legal processes, contact logs, travel data, communications. These records continue to be analyzed. Some individuals named denied wrongdoing. Only limited additional charges followed, but public debate persists about influence, about oversight, about institutional decisions, and how far accountability reached. After Epstein's death, authorities searched the properties. The islands were later sold to private investors. Plans were announced for redevelopment into a luxury destination, a location once defined by scandal, moving towards reinvention. Whether reputation can truly be rebuilt remains uncertain. This story is more than crime history. It's about power, influence, relationships, and the systems around them. From Brooklyn to elite global circles to private Caribbean islands, Jeffrey Epstein's death ended a trial, but not the examination of his legacy. Because records remain studied, networks remain analyzed, and for many, the full truth still feels unfinished.